My name is Meredith Dayton, and I am the Director of Membership and Programming here at the historic Ebell of Los Angeles. Welcome. The Ebell is an organization of women with a mission to serve Los Angeles with opportunities to gather and experience art, culture, community, and service. I want to thank you, our audience, for your support in coming to listen and participate in this story today. This project is special. Growing up in Miami, I know it's shocking, I'm from Florida, in the 80s, many hours were spent sitting at tables listening to Holocaust survivors tell their stories. Stories of fear, stories of loss and love and survival. The impact those stories, those oral histories had helped shape the woman that I am now, how I navigate the world that I live in, and I and the Ebell did not hesitate to take part of this program, to have this opportunity to do our part in making these stories, these oral histories, continue to be told, and more importantly, to continue having them be heard. I know you'll enjoy this wonderful program. Please consider being a part of the Ebell community by becoming a member. Membership supports future events like this and other voices that need a platform in our community. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Andrea Grossman of Writer's Bloc, and someone I am proud to call a friend, an Ebell member, and someone who gets me into loads of good trouble.
Thank you. Thanks to all of you for coming to this concert reading of Vilna, a Holocaust resistance story. You're among the very few in the country to see this terrific concert reading, full of profound Jewish drama, full of fabulous music. It's a drum roll for Jewish communal survival. Events like this can cost a fortune for organizations such as ours. Don't worry, I'm not hitting you up. This is not, a Jewish Federation thing. I just want to tell you, the composer, Kevin Cloud, whom you'll meet, lives in Kansas City. The director, Hannah Ryan, lives in Brooklyn. And there are musicians and actors, and terrific ones at that. So it takes a village. That's where my friend Lima Uravenchen, the consul, and forgive me, Lima, if I mess that up, but she's the Consul General of Lithuania. Lima responded immediately when I asked her for support. She asserted that this is a story that must be told. Through her gracious and generous advocacy, we can make that possible today. It's especially relevant now because yesterday, as you know, marked the 2-year anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. While this story today is a living, breathing reminder of the horror going on in Ukraine, it also gives us hope knowing that what power individuals, even teenagers, can wield against fascism and oppression. The city of Vilna was once the beating heart of Jewish cultural life. Its heroism and resistance in the face of invasion, occupation, and massacre is not as widely told as it should be. So I'm so grateful that Writer's Bloc, with the help of Stacy Brightman and Meredith Dayton here at the Ebell, the Dayton family, the Holocaust Museum LA, thanks to Jen Maxey, and the Republic of Lithuania can present it. They have all provided massive support. Immediately following the 1-hour performance, we'll have a very brief discussion with playwright Lisa Kenner Grissom, composer and creator Kevin Cloud, and Jesse Handler, a Holocaust scholar and educator from Holocaust Museum LA. Stay for that, because you'll hear about the facts behind the story, what's next, and more. Before I introduce you to our lovely benefactor, the Consul General of Lithuania, I need to say, even though you're a crowd that doesn't look like you're going to cause too much trouble, I need to say that Writer's Bloc and my colleagues, the other presenters here, are committed to civil and lively discourse. Harassment and abuse are an affront to artistic expression, and as such, we are committed to ensuring that our events are free of such behavior. If we see any abusive behavior or behavior that we think makes our guests feel unsafe in any way, we retain the right to remove offenders from this space. Thank you for abiding by this code of conduct. So now it's my huge honor and delight to introduce Laima Yuravechin, Consul General from the Republic of Lithuania, who will say a few words.
Thank you very much, Andrea. Dear distinguished audience, Vilna, Vilnius, Vilna, it is the same name of the beautiful multicultural city, capital of Lithuania. City which last year celebrated 700 years anniversary. City which cherished the values, freedom, tolerance, and the peaceful coexistence of different cultures and religions. Jerusalem of North, city of Vilna was called. During its 700 years of existence, Vilnius has experienced periods of prosperity and devastation. It has been a cradle of cultures and victim of pan-European catastrophes. The prominent feature of the city before World War II was a Jewish community. For nearly 150 years, the center of Eastern European Jewish cultural life. The Holocaust is the most horrible human tragedy of the 20th century, which traumatized the whole world, including Lithuania. It is the most painful and bloodiest time in the country's history. It was only after Lithuania restored its independence in 1990 that historians had opportunities to explore the little-known pages of Lithuanian history, including Holocaust that was organized and perpetrated by Nazi Germany military and police unit assisted by local collaborators. It is only now that we are starting to come to the grips with this terrible history. Until the Second World War, there were around 60,000 Jews living in Vilnius, and all of them in September 1941 were forced into ghettos. Almost 40,000 people were imprisoned in Vilna ghetto. Life conditions in ghetto was terrible, but the cultural life still continued. Artists continued to paint and write. There was a secret ghetto orchestra, theaters in Yiddish and Hebrew, 2 choirs, schools, library, bookstore, museum, and sport yard, raising the hope and inspiration and helping to resist. After 3 years, September 23rd, in 1943, 80 years ago, Vilna ghetto was liquidated. This day has been designated to commemorate the victims of the genocide of Lithuanian Jews. We will never forget what happens in Europe and in Lithuania during the Holocaust. But until recently, we believed that these were the most painful mistakes of the past, times of madness that have nothing to do with the present. But Russia's brutal war against Ukraine, yesterday, we mentioned 2 years, and the war crimes Russia committed, barbaric attack by Hamas terrorists on Israel on October 7, made it painfully clear that the hatred and cruelty does not disappear anywhere by itself. We must not only remember, but also do everything to protect our common values of humanity and to educate the younger generation in the spirit of humanism. I would like sincere thank to the team of this musical, story and music writers of this musical, all artists, bringing the story of Jewish resistance fighters from Vilna ghetto to our life. Special thanks to Writers Bloc, Andrea, to you, Holocaust Museum, and Ebell of Los Angeles to bringing this musical to Los Angeles. Music and art can make different life. Each and every one of us can make difference in our lives. The legacy of Vilna ghetto resistance is a reminder of the strength of human spirit when confronted with unimaginable adversity. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to be quick because we want to hear some music. I'm Jen Maxey. I'm the Chief Program Officer at Holocaust Museum LA. I see some friends out here. I want to thank my beautiful partners in this endeavor, the Ebell. Everyone at the Ebell is amazing. Writer's Bloc. I want to thank Laima. I want to thank your office. The creative team is incredible. If you don't know, Holocaust Museum LA is the oldest Holocaust museum in the country. We were founded in 1961 by a group of Holocaust survivors who met here in Los Angeles. In 2010, we came to our permanent home in Pan Pacific Park, not the one on Pico, that's the other museum. So we're in Pan Pacific Park, and we're undergoing a huge expansion, so I hope you'll follow us. In 2 years, we'll be double the size. Do I have any second or third generation Holocaust survivors in the audience? Yes, okay, wonderful. We have lots of things for all of you because you are the future, you are the legacy. So I want to thank you all for supporting the arts. It's this kind of storytelling that brings us together to understand our shared humanity. Thank you for supporting the arts. And without further ado, Vilna, a resistance story.
September 1st, 1939. The Nazis occupy 19-year-old Vitka Kempner's hometown of Kalisz, Poland. Vitka escapes to the bohemian city of Vilna, the Jerusalem of Lithuania, the Paris of the East, where she meets Ruska and Liuba, who help her get back on her feet and show her the town.
Walking down Glazer Street, you can feel the music in the air. Melodies rising up from every heart. There is not another town that could ever compare to my Vilna, to my Vilna.
Hey!
Hey!
This is more than a place, it's an idea.
A way of life.
Like a living, breathing book, or more like a prayer.
It's a bright shining star turning darkness into light. My Vilna, my Vilna. Hey! Here's to all the nights that we've spent together. May the spirit of this town never die. Here's to Vilna, may you live forever. Raise your glass to life.
Raise your glass to life.
In Vilna, my Vilna, my Vilna. My Vilna.
Everywhere that you go, there's a buzz, a creative energy. People looking for words that will change the world. If we can't find the words, at least we can find a couple drinks in Vilna, my Vilna. Hey! Here's to all the nights that we've spent together. May the spirit of this town never die. Here's to Vilna, may you live forever. Raise your glass to life. Raise your glass to life. In Vilna, my Vilna, my Vilna.
the nights that we spent together. May the spirit of this town never die. I don't care what comes our way, I promise you they'll find us dancing and singing, writing and thinking, living and loving, always creating, building and making, always creating, Vilna forever. Here's to life, my Vilna, my Vilna, my Vilna.
Vitka and her new friends end the night in Velki's, the hottest club in Vilna, where Vitka meets writers Abba Kovner, Avram Sutzkever, and Hirsh Glick. Over drinks, she warns the group that the Nazis are coming and tries to convince them to form a resistance movement.
How can you just sit here and drink the night away? You think you're in the clear. They'll be here any day. I will fight them all with my bare hands if I must. I am going to make them pay. I've come so far, I won't run anymore. It's time to settle the score. When you've lost it all, what's left to lose? When they say to fall in line, what will you do? When there's no hope left inside of you, that's when you must choose. What do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? Every time I close my eyes, all I see is Papa's face. I can still hear his cries. That will never be my fate. I will not just lie down. I will fight till the end. I will have my revenge. I've come so far, I won't run anymore. It's time to settle the score. When you've lost it all, what's left to lose? When they say to fall in line, what will you do? When there's no hope left inside of you, that's when you must choose. What do you have to lose? When you've lost it all, what's left to lose? When they say to fall in line, what will you do? When you've lost it all, what's left to lose? When they say to fall in line, what will you do? When there's no hope left inside of you, that's when you must choose. Oh, that's when you must choose.
forward in time to 1941. The Germans invade Vilna and confine 80,000 Jews to the ghetto. The Nazis create a Jewish police force and recruit Jewish businessman Jacob Gens to oversee it. Meanwhile, Vitka and her friends form an underground resistance movement with Itzhak Wittenberg and Abba at the helm.
Settle down, listen to me. You have to trust, I know the way. We have no choice, we must obey. Do all they say. They'll need our help for the war. We'll work in their factories. Bruno wants boots and coats. We'll make all he needs. Work for them, stay alive. This is how we will all survive. It's what we must do to save our people.
How can you work for these monsters?
Fall in line, make it through. Soon they'll be gone, I promise you. It's what we must do to save our people.
You couldn't be more wrong. Jacob, you have lost your mind. Are you a fool or has your badge made you blind? You are just digging our graves. Can't you see how you betray all of the Jews who you are trying to save?
Work for them, stay alive. This is how we will all survive. It's what we must do to save our people.
How can you work for these monsters?
Make it through.
The people will not follow you.
It's what we must do to save our people.
We will find another way.
It's what we must do to save our people.
We will find another way.
It's what we must do to save our people.
We will find another way.
It's what we must do.
We'll save our people.
Confusion and chaos, cramped quarters, not enough food or supplies. Vitka and the group struggled to adjust to conditions in the ghetto. They never imagined that they would spend their young lives trying to survive one day to the next. Each must confront their dashed dreams and new reality.
I should have been upon the stage. Each night I'd be the main event. I'd be all over the front page. Not stuck here with you, no offense. I never thought I would be the star of a tragedy. I should have never left my home. What's happened to my family?
They should have left our town alone so I could write my poetry.
I never thought I would be living out a tragedy.
hard to get ahead. It's true, my future was so bright. What would have happened if I fled? Champagne with my wife every night. I never thought I would be working for my enemy.
Hirsh, I wrote a new song. I'm singing it tonight at the Ghetto Theater.
I'll be there early. Can I hear it?
To just over the wide water, loving beaks kissing so high up above. Cursed is the man, so evil, so cruel, who tore me from my own true love.
If only I could have seen.
My life is a tragedy. Two doves flew over the wide water, loving beaks kissing so high up above. Cursed is the man, so evil, so cruel, who tore me from my own true love.
Tasked with cooking, cleaning, and running supplies, Vitka, Ruska, and Liuba are tired of being ordered around by the men. Together with Mother Bertranda, a Catholic nun who's been helping the underground, the women share their frustrations.
If I have to sneak around to go where duty calls, then I'll walk up to the Nazis at the ghetto walls. I will smile and flirt with them until their defense falls. Whisper nice sweet nothings and then shoot them in the balls. Men lose their minds when I bat my eyes. Men can be so gullible, just wear a cute disguise. Who needs all these guys? I don't understand why Abba always gets his way. You do this and you do that, don't question what I say. All my life they told me to sit quiet and obey. Think of all that we could do if men weren't in the way. If we speak our mind, they're just gonna cry. Men think they're so powerful, let's cut them down to size. The three of us should lead this thing, who needs all these guys?
I became a nun because that's what God said to do. But there is another reason equally as true. Living in a convent might seem crazy from your point of view. But there are no men around to tell me what to do. Hey! Let's mobilize, they'll be so surprised. Abba's gonna learn that I am more than just his bride. We are just as good as men, it's time for us to rise. They must realize we are strong and we won't compromise. Who needs all these guys?
Gens is ordered to send Sutzkever and Hirsh to collect Jewish artifacts to hand over to the Nazis. Sutzkever and Hirsh struggle with the job they've been forced to do until Sutzkever comes up with a brilliant but risky plan. He shares that he's been visited by a guardian angel who promises to keep them safe and convinces Hirsh to take a chance.
Is it really you? I have felt your presence by my side. I knew it was true. You are real. Now you've come to be my guide. I am not afraid. I feel your light inside of me. Help me now, I pray. Give me words. I'll write them faithfully.
The days ahead are dark. Do not despair, you must be brave. My light is your spark. Just follow me, you will be saved. All that I require of you is one poem every day. To that task be true, and I promise I will keep you safe. Beauty breaks through every night. What begins in darkness ends in morning light. Beauty breaks through every night. I'll give them beauty.
I'll give them beauty.
I'll give them light.
I would gladly die if it meant these words would all live on. Hirsh, we have to try so our children can have these when we're gone. Beauty breaks through every night. What begins in darkness ends in morning light. Beauty breaks through every night.
I'll give them beauty.
I'll give them beauty.
I'll give them light. I'll give them beauty.
I'll give them beauty. That's how we'll fight.
One by one, members of the underground line up to go through the ghetto gates, all under the ruthless eyes of Nazi soldiers who clock their every move.
I cannot breathe, I'm so terrified. I don't think I can make it through. This isn't safe, I don't want to die.
Calm down, I'll show you what to do. Make sure the Nazis aren't around. Our guards will look the other way. Move quickly, keep your eyes on the ground. Hope that you see another day.
Every time I'm standing in that line, my life is on the line. I pray today is not my time. My life is on the line.
This paper, sir, is nothing at all. I needed something I could burn. We have no wood and holes in the wall. There is no reason for concern. What is your name? I bet the girls all fight like crazy over you. Someday I'd love to give you a try. I bet you know just what to do.
Every time I smuggle something in, it could be the end. And the line between life and death is thin. It could be the end.
Mother Bertranda arrives at the underground's ghetto apartment with Sarah, a young Jewish woman who was found in the street, covered in blood. Sarah tells the story of being kidnapped and brought with her young son to Pinar, a killing field where thousands of Jews have been taken. She has returned to Vilna alone.
Tell me what we have done. He was my only son, the one I had prayed for all those years. How can a heart be so black? So many bodies stacked. All of those souls who will cry no more Why is the world filled with hate? We suffer a bitter fate. My heart can't bear this crushing pain. How can such an evil thrive? Can anything good survive? Forever will mourn out of those who were slain.
Can the world not scream? If the heavens can open up, when should that happen if not today?
If heaven is heaven, it should start pouring down lava. Let all living things be washed away once and for all.
Let a greater world destruction than this one come. Let a new world arise from the ruins.
Soon will be ash and dust. Is this the end of the world? Can the world turn away with nothing at all to say? Does anyone care, or are we all
Abba gives a rousing speech to the underground and the people of the ghetto, calling them to take up arms. Vitka recruits Liuba to meet an outside contact to retrieve a missing piece for a bomb.
Do not be deceived, we've seen the fate of those they've snatched away. Please don't be naive, we can't believe a single thing they say. There is only one response to murder, one choice that I see. We must take up arms against the evil enemy. We will not go like sheep to the slaughter. They will not take our sons and our daughters. I am ready to fight for my honor. I will stand and fight until my last breath.
our Jewish pride. We'll avenge the murders of our people, all of those who died. Now that we have learned the fate of those that they have snatched away, how can we not act? Our time is now, we'll make them pay.
We will not go like sheep to the slaughter. They will not take our sons and our daughters. We are ready to die for our honor. We will stand and fight until our last breath.
If we fight, we'll need more than these guns. We'll come at them hard, fill them with fear.
We will show the whole world we are here.
We will not go like sheep to the slaughter.
They will not take our sons and our daughters.
We are ready to die for our honor. We will stand up. We will not go like sheep to the slaughter. They will not take our sons and our daughters. We are ready to die for our honor. We will stand up. We will not go like sheep to the slaughter. We will not take our sons and our daughters. We are ready to die for our honor. We will stand and fight until our last breath.
The efforts of the underground come to a staggering halt. In a tragic and horrific turn of events, Liuba, on her way to meet Vitka's contact, is abducted by the Nazis and taken to prison, then to Pinar.
When they realized who they caught on that day, they took such great pleasure in making me pay. One guard beat me up as he said with a grin,
The songbird of Vilna will never be heard from again.
two doves flew over the wide water, loving beaks kissing so high up above. Cursed is the man, so evil, so cruel, who tore me from my own true love. Day after day, alone in a cell, I sang to myself, making music in hell. I never gave up, and I made my choice. They could take away my life, but those bastards would not steal my voice. Two doves flew over the wide water, loving beaks kissing so high up above. Cursed is the man, so evil, so cruel, he tore me from my own true love. One night they burst in, drunk and stumbling around. They laughed the whole way as we drove out of town. My hands shook with fear, but I found strength within. As I knelt by that pit, I kept singing right up to the end. Two doves flew over the wide water, loving beaks kissing so high up above. Cursed is the
they mourn Liuba's death, a heartbroken Hirsh shares a song he wrote. His song spreads throughout ghettos across Eastern Europe, becoming a rallying cry for all those who resist oppression.
The skies are dark and gray. I feel my heart grow colder and harder each day. Can I find strength to carry on? There's so much suffering, why sing these songs? I feel the walls closing in. This cannot be the end. Never say this is the final road. Never say your story won't be told. Keep marching onward, we will persevere. Never say the sun won't shine again. I believe there's always hope within. Keep marching onward as long as we're here. We are here. We are here. We are here. We are here.
Try to break me down. In the heart of the struggle, our courage is found. While there's breath left in me, I will fight until we are all free. Together we stand as one, rising up like the sun. Never say this is the final road. Never say your story won't be told. Keep marching onward, we will persevere. Never say the sun won't shine again. I believe there's always hope within. Keep marching onward as long as we're here. We are here. We are here. We are here. We will fight. We're not going quietly into the night. We will stand with hearts set upon the promised land.
We must endure and persist. Don't we deserve to exist?
Side by side, unite, survive, resist.
Never say this is the final road. Never say your story won't be told.
Keep marching onward, we will persevere. Never say the sun won't shine again. I believe there's always hope within. Keep marching onward as long as we're here. We are here. We are here. We are here. We are
Gens calls a surprise meeting of the underground, which turns out to be a trap. Gens takes Wittenberg into custody, but in a deft military operation, the underground frees and hides their leader. The ghetto is thrown into chaos.
My fellow Jews, listen, we're in dire straits. Hitler's Gestapo is stationed at our gates. They want a communist Jew that's hiding in there. If we protect him, the slaughter will begin. Beloved Vilna will finally meet its end. What shall we do? I see only one choice, and that's clear.
We must save the ghetto. Why should we die for just one man? We must save Vilna. Give us Wittenberg.
Give us
Wittenberg. Give us Wittenberg.
He protected by those called the underground. We must search everywhere, don't give up till he's found. These naive fools put your life at risk for this one man.
Give us Wittenberg. We must save the ghetto. Where have you hidden? Tell us now. We must save Vilna. Give us Wittenberg. Give us Wittenberg. Give us Wittenberg.
Give us Wittenberg.
Give us Wittenberg. Give us Wittenberg.
Give us Wittenberg. Give us Wittenberg.
Everyone in the ghetto has turned on us. We are on our own. Now it's clear that they never will fight with us. We have been disowned.
It's like they are demanding we turn you in. I don't know what to do.
You're our leader, we'll follow you till the end. The choice is up to you. I must save the ghetto. I'll give myself up, calm things down. I must save Vilna, give them Wittenberg.
No, wait!
I must save the ghetto, but you keep fighting, don't back down. We must save Vilna, give them Wittenberg. Give them Wittenberg. Give them Wittenberg.
Vitka and the underground have no time to grieve the loss of Wittenberg. Mother Bertranda warns the group that the Nazis are coming. They need to leave now. Ruska knows how to lead them through the sewers to the forest.
slowly start to rise. Who would care if we all drowned? The world would just keep spinning round. It seems that even God wants us to die. Who knows how long we were there, with every step so much despair. I don't see how we possibly survive, but just then I see the light. We climb back up into the night. I can't believe we made it out alive.
On the eve of Vitka's dangerous mission, Abba shares his feelings for her.
I never thought we'd survive. Now we have a chance to make it out alive. Vitka, I don't understand how we both made it through. I don't know if I could ever love again. After all this loss, it's hard to comprehend. But I can't ignore my heart, it's pulling me toward you. Like the birds singing up above, we'll resist them by choosing love. Will you take my hand? We can face whatever comes our way. If you take my hand, we will fight together into a better day, into a new day. Will you take my hand?
After all that you and I have shared, I can't imagine life without you there. There is no one else who understands me like you do. I am on my own, my family's gone. I can't do this alone, I'm tired of being strong. You and I could build a life that's beautiful and new.
Like the birds singing up above, we'll resist them by choosing love. If you take my hand, we can face whatever comes our way. If you take my hand, we can walk together into a better day. If you take my hand, I can find the strength that I need to make
last, it's Vitka's moment to bomb a German train. Vitka will finally fight back for all the Jews who cannot.
I have waited for so long, now the time is finally here. Soon they'll see that we are strong. My heart's set, my mind is clear. Breathe, Vitka, breathe. Just don't be seen. After all that we have lost, now we're taking something back. I don't care what it might cost, I will make it to those tracks. Breathe, Vitka, breathe, Vitka, breathe. Just don't be seen. Just don't be seen. At the bridge I soak it in. I make myself a solemn vow. This is not about revenge. This is for our honor now. Baby, I'm just a young Jewish girl, but I'll blow their train to the sky. Out of nowhere, tears come fast. I wish Papa could have seen how I did all that he asked, how I kept my dignity. Breathe, Vitka, breathe.
He's with you.
He's with you, he sees. When I hear the bomb explode, I feel something shift inside. All the hatred that I've known somehow's changing into pride. Breathe, Vitka, breathe. Now you are free. We have made it through the flames, standing tall until the end. Life will never be the same, but Vilna will be ours again. Suddenly dawn is breaking through, and I hear all the birds sing their song. I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm not gonna disappear. I'm still here. I'm still here. So we came us to listen, listen back. Watching and finding for Loyalität. Kommen weg noch unser Häuschen weggeschoben. Set up point von unser Trott mit seinen Dom. Kommen weg noch unser Häuschen weggeschoben. Set up point von unser Trott mit seinen Dom. Never say that you walk the final way. When the heavens hide the blue of day, the hour we long for will soon draw near, and our steps like drums will sound that we are here. The hour we long for will soon draw near, and our steps like drums will sound that we are here.
In a final battle, the underground retakes their beloved city of Vilna from the Nazis. Vitka, Abba, Sutzkever, and Ruska survive and live out the rest of their lives in Israel.
Never say this is the final road. Never say your story won't be told. Keep marching onward, we will persevere. Never say the sun won't shine again. I believe there's always hope within. Keep marching onward as long as we're here. We are here. We are here. We are here.
Hey, you guys, I really hope to see you soon on Broadway. Or better yet, like here in LA. In 1 second, I'm going to bring up Lisa Kenner Grissom and Kevin Cloud, our creators here. And where's Jesse Handler from the Holocaust Museum LA? We're going to have a very brief yak about what's next, what is true, and what we get out of this. So thank you so much. Everybody, I'm going to introduce Kevin Cloud, our composer. Lisa Kenner Grissom, who wrote the book for the story. And Jesse, come on up. Jesse Handler from the Holocaust Museum. What's next, guys?
Yeah, so we are actually bringing the show to New York in the fall. We're going to do, We're going to do what's called a 29-hour industry read, where you hire actors and you learn the piece in 1 week, and then you present it for directors and for theater owners and for producers, and you hope that a theater or a producer picks it up and takes it from there. So that's what's next for us. We also are already talking with the Ebell and with Writer's Bloc about maybe coming back to Los Angeles for a West Coast premiere as well. So we would love to make that happen. If anybody wants to help us with that, I would love to connect. My email's in the brochure, but we need a lot of help to be able to come back out here. Y'all have an amazing city. Y'all have amazing talent up here, and we would love to come back and tell the full story of here on the stage.
Tell us how this started, what inspired you. Lisa, come on in, too.
Yeah, so my wife, Allison, who's sitting right here, she's on the creative team. We write musicals, yeah. We write musicals back in Kansas City, and we were kind of looking for our next project. And I don't even know how I found the article, but I stumbled across an article called "The Song So Powerful That It Beat the Nazis." And I was like, oh, this is interesting, and started reading it. And it was all about Hirsh Glick, this young poet and songwriter who wrote this song that became known as the partisan song. It spread throughout all the ghettos and into the woods where the partisan fighters were, and it inspired people in their fight against fascism. And I personally, as an artist, as a songwriter, was so inspired about the idea of a young poet who, in the worst possible circumstances, continued to write, continued to create, continued to believe that his work could make a difference in the world. And so that was the initial spark. And then my wife and I just did a deep dive into the city of Vilna and just came across these amazing stories of resistance. You know, Vitka Kempner, a 19-year-old young woman who blew up a train in the first act of resistance by Jewish partisans against the Nazis. Abba Kovner, who gives the famous speech, "We will not go like sheep to the slaughter," that inspires all kinds of resistance movements across Eastern Europe. And so we just kind of fell in love with this town and this story, and then we kind of panicked because we were like, oh shoot, who's told this story, right? This story is so good, someone has told it, and we haven't found anybody that has yet. So we decided to write the musical, and then we brought Lisa on about a year ago, and I'll let you pick it up from there.
So my journey with this subject matter starts in 2019 when I went to Vilna on a cultural fellowship. And while I was there, I'm a writer, as you know, and I was looking for a Jewish female subject to write about. And it was the last day. We were all very tired. It was the last stop on our journey. And we met with a 97-year-old female partisan, Vanya Bronsovsky, and she told us the story of escaping the Vilna ghetto for the forest, and she made it her life's work to share her stories. And so I came back, it was just before COVID hit, and I just did this deep dive into the subject matter. I often lean into female empowerment stories and female narratives, and I just really absorbed all of this history. Then flash forward to 2022, I don't know Kevin and Allison yet. They're in Kansas City doing their deep dive. I returned to Vilna to do more research and to do some filming, and a director friend of ours saw me on Instagram in Vilna, and said, oh my gosh, you've got to meet this couple, Kevin and Allison Cloud in Kansas City. They're working on this musical. And so he made, am I saying it right, a shidduch? Is that right?
A shidduch, yeah.
A match. And yeah, my Yiddish is eh. And we met, and it was like we were in the same place. We knew all the same history. We had done the deep dives separately, and then when we got together, it was just like, boom.
I just want to interrupt for 1 second. You mentioned the partisan song, the song that beat the Nazis. Does anybody here know that song? Pretty great. Okay, good. Anybody can sing it if you want. Jesse and Lisa. The story of Vilna's resistance hasn't been as widely told as has other resistance initiatives during the war. Why is that when Vilna was such a major Jewish center of culture, in Europe? The Paris, it was the other Paris, one of the other many Parises.
So I grew up in a small town north of Boston, raised Reformed Jewish, went to Hebrew school, got confirmed, went to Israel. I knew nothing about Jewish resistance, literally nothing. And I knew nothing about the female role in resistance. And so for me, it was like an awakening. And I was just like, these stories have to be told. Jewish girls need to know these stories. And I think, you can speak more to this, but I think in the post-war, the narrative was more about Israel. And I think these stories from Eastern Europe, and particularly Vilna, sort of got left out of the education, the Jewish education, certainly that I received.
Yes, and is this on? I would also say that the resistance in Vilna was kind of overshadowed by maybe more successful, I guess you could say, resistance movements. So the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, which most of us have heard about, because of the surprise that the Jews lasted 4 weeks fighting the Nazis in Warsaw, I think that holds a little more weight to some people than maybe a resistance movement that didn't really reach its full potential in Vilna because of the opposition from the older people in the ghetto or because they wanted to spare the ghetto. So I think that also might be a reason why we don't hear about it as much. But I do think that one way we do hear about resistance in Vilna is the spiritual resistance. So as we heard in the play, the ghetto, or the music, the ghetto was really a booming place of spiritual resistance. Culture was happening in the ghetto. I've seen posters from the Vilna ghetto of a celebration for the 100,000th book being taken out of the ghetto there, the ghetto library. So there are really other ways that Vilna excelled in resistance, maybe not in a physical way, but definitely in a cultural and a spiritual way.
So how long was this particular effort by Kovner and Vitka, how long did this go on for?
Well, I guess it started in 1941 when the Nazis invaded the Soviet Union, called Operation Barbarossa, and very shortly after, the Jews were sent to the ghetto in Vilna. But it lasted until 1944. The city was liberated in July of 1944. So it was, I guess, 3 years that the resistance was there.
How often was it that girls started these resistance movements, and how successful were they?
So they were known as ghetto girls. So there were a lot of female couriers in the various ghettos in Eastern Europe. And I think that was primarily the role of women in the resistance. There were also female, women that escaped the forest with the men, and then there are several that really came to the fore, like Faye Schulman is one of them. There are several that sort of have memoirs, and they've sort of become, I don't want to say famous, but well-known as partisans. But I would say there's a bit of there's more of the couriers, female couriers, than women that actually resisted in the forest. But we're learning more about them now. And I think that there's oral histories now that are like being discovered and uncovered. Vitka Kempner definitely has done many oral histories. And the Wexler project at the Yiddish Book Center is just something I want to mention, because you can go to their site and listen to these testimonies of some of these women that were part of the resistance.
And we'll never know how many women there actually were. There's no record of that. But we do have, through memoir and through testimony, their stories. I really like how you talked about the couriers. That's the main role. And in the ghettos, they used to call them, sorry, I just want to make sure my notes are right, kashariyot, which means connector. And so they were really connectors between the different ghettos when the Nazis were trying to isolate the different Jewish communities. And they did a lot of amazing things. They were also the first people to start smuggling arms into the ghettos. So because they were women, the Nazis were very sexist in their ideology. The Nazis didn't think that women would be capable of doing something like this. There was also no physical marker to check a woman like there was a Jewish man. So that made the females really useful and perfect for this role. So they really played a huge part, and their job really evolved over time and through the war.
And this is for all three of you. I just have like 2 more questions, but what historical truths, well, I guess no, Kevin and Lisa. No, sorry, I'm going back. What, so the characters, they're true stories, right? Or?
Yeah, all the characters in the musical are real people, which is amazing. I mean, again, that was what was so inspiring. These are real people, real lives, real loss, real inspiration from their lives.
I think we feel a great responsibility to portray them as honestly as possible, and like learn really like as much specificity about their characters as we can. Of course, we have to make some changes for dramatic purposes, but we've really learned about these people from the inside out.
Now I'm going to my historical truths question. What do you want to convey, Kevin and Lisa, from this story, this musical? I know.
I mean, for me, there's so many things, but one of Kevin's lyrics that always makes me tear up is, "We deserve to exist." I mean, I just tear up every single time. I'm tearing up right now. Just that I think a lot of times people say, do we need another Holocaust story? And we do. We do. We need as many Holocaust stories as there were people who survived. And I feel like this story is an untold story. Not a lot of people know about it. Kevin, you can speak to that. Every time we talk about this story, people say, oh, I didn't know. Is this true? Is this real? Is this, even our cast yesterday when we did a read-through, is this real? Are these people real? And we're like, they are real. This is true.
I think for me, the idea of resistance, of being a people that no matter how dark, no matter how evil, no matter how much hatred there is in the world, the idea that we are called to resist that with goodness and love and beauty and truth. And that's what these artists embodied. And even more than resistance, the idea of creative resistance, that our creativity can be a force for good in the world, is just such a beautiful idea to me. And again, we hope that we hope all of you have heard this story today and go out into the world trying to resist all of the chaos and all of the darkness that we see, unfortunately, every day continuing in our world.
I wouldn't advise blowing up trains, though, please. I want to end with this to Jesse. I always have said that I learn more from fiction, from stories and from novels than I do from reading a chronicle or a history book. What would or can this production accomplish for a wide audience? And I guess that's for all of you,
Well, I'm going to start with, as the granddaughter of a Holocaust survivor from Vilna, this play really, or the music really, made me feel so proud of my heritage and of my grandfather and my great-grandmother, who were the only 2 people to survive in their entire family. And I think that right now, the world's a crazy place, and we can take this Jewish pride that these resistance fighters had in the 1940s in Lithuania and apply that to today. We really need to stick to our roots, be proud of who we are, and stand up for what is right. So I think that's one thing we can do, and one thing that this musical can do. I also think that art is a really amazing way to transcend communities and age and whatever barriers there might be. And this play is a really great introduction to that. Music is a great introduction to that, and just being creative is such a great way to start conversations with either different communities or different topics that might be difficult to tackle.
Lisa, Kevin, anything?
That was perfectly put. Thank you, Jessica.
Oh my God, the songs were so great. You got to bring it back, like to LA soon.
We're all in.
So
It's warmer
okay.
in LA than Kansas City too, so it's really nice to come here.
We weren't going to do Q&A because like there are too many people that, I'm getting the sorry, gotta turn it off sign from the Ebell because she's
Come
gonna
up and
turn
talk to us afterwards. Come ask us anything you want to ask.
So, Lima, thank you ever so much again.
Thank you so much.
Because without you, we couldn't have done it. So thank you. And thanks to the Ebell, to Meredith Dayton and her family, to Stacy Brightman, and to Jen Maxey of Holocaust Museum LA, and to you guys.
I have waited for so long, now the time is finally here. Soon they'll see that we are strong. My heart's set, my mind is clear. Breathe, Vitka, breathe. Just don't be seen.